Hey, beautiful people. So we have made it to number 7 of the 8 things that I'm going to be teaching you over the next 14 days that you need to do a deep dive into. You need to gain insight, as well as you just need to sit down and look at the data as it relates to building out your strategy for next year. Okay. And so the last thing I covered was the dreaded SWOT analysis, right? Like the dirty word SWOT analysis. But here's the thing. Once you get through doing that SWOT analysis, right? Like once you get through that process, you're going to take that information as well as the data, and you're going to use it to build your SMART strategy, right? And so again, SMART strategy comes directly from corporate America. Back in my days, this is all the things that they taught me, and I used to dread them as well, but they work, right? Like they work when you know what to do with them, right? And so what is a SMART strategy? And so a SMART strategy is, number one, it's got to be specific, right? Which means it cannot be vague. You cannot just be out here like, oh, I'm going to do this thing like someday, right? Like it just, what? That's why you ain't never accomplishing it, because it's too vague, right? Get specific with what you want to do or what you're going to do. Number 2, once you're specific, now you can measure it, right? Like it has to be something that you can measure, okay? The other thing is it has to be achievable. So don't set goals that you can't actually hit, because all it does is make you feel like a failure. And you can do a lot, but make sure it's in your wheelhouse, right? Like make sure this is something that you are skilled and gifted at being able to do, okay? The other thing is it has to be realistic, right? Like I'm about 5'1.5". I can have the goal, I guess, of dunking a basketball. Realistically happening? No. Number 1, way too short. Number 2, I ain't even out here trying to do that, right? So it has to be realistic, right? And then the last part, which in my opinion is the most important part of a SMART strategy, it has to have a timeline and or a time stamp and or a date, however you want to label that, right? And here's why. Because a date makes it real, right? A date gives it some structure. A date gives you some guidance. A date is going to light a little bit of fire under your ass, right? Because when you're just like, oh, I'm going to grow my business to 6 figures, but then there's no win after that, you don't have a win, you usually don't have a how, right? Because once you say, I got to do this by this date, oh, snap. All of a sudden, I got to get some steps in place, strategy, to get there, okay? So that's it, and that's all. Oh, I guess I should do a quick recap of what we've covered so far. So number 1, you're going to need to realign with your why. Number 2, you're going to need to sweeten those services up. Number 3, you're going to need to form a framework. Number 4, you're going to need to build a container for your content. Number 5, you're going to have to design some triggers, workflows, and templates. Number 6, you're going to have to do a SWOT analysis. And number 7, which is where we're at today, you are going to have to build out a SMART strategy. So that's it. That's all. Remember, I am teaching these 8 things because these are the same 8 things I'm going to be covering in my new group program, Elevate in 8, which the doors actually open on October the 25th and we end on December the 17th. And you will leave with a custom strategy for your brand new year, right? Like you'll know exactly what you need to be doing step by step, day by day, right? Because we're going to go through all 7 of these. And so join me in the next couple of days when I go over number 8. I'm going to put a link up above or a link down below so you can access the details about the program. And as always, if you have questions, please feel free to DM me or you can drop them in the comments. I try to respond to everything, but again, I look forward to serving you guys, and I will see you in a couple of days with the last step. So have a good day. Thanks. Bye.